In 2010, a Harvard psychologist named Matthew Killingsworth built an app that interrupted people at random moments during the day and asked them one question: what are you thinking about right now? He collected data from over 15,000 people across 83 countries. And what he found stopped the psychology world in its tracks. People were thinking about something other than what they were actually doing 47% of the time. Nearly half of every waking hour, lost inside their own heads, not present, not acting, not living, just thinking. The study found that a wandering mind was not a sign of intelligence. It was the single strongest predictor of unhappiness, more than income, more than health, more than relationship status. The problem was not the lives people were living. The problem was the minds they could not escape. And if you are a smart person, this is especially dangerous. Because a smart mind can build a better prison. Picture someone with a good job, a good reputation, the kind of person others came to for advice. Smart, responsible, reliable. From the outside, successful, but inside his head, he was exhausted. Every decision had become a courtroom. Should I take this opportunity? What if it fails? Should I send this message? What if they misunderstand me? All that thinking did not make him freer. It made him smaller. He called it being careful. He called it being realistic. But most of the time, he was not deciding. He was delaying. One paused decision at a time. One avoided conversation at a time. One mental loop at a time. That is how overthinking steals a life. Not all at once. Quietly, slowly. And the cruelest part? He genuinely believed the thinking was protecting him. It was not. It was the cage. Most people believe overthinking means they care deeply. Sometimes that is true, but more often, overthinking is fear pretending to be analysis. The brain hates uncertainty. Uncertainty feels dangerous, so the mind tries to solve life before living it. It wants guarantees. It wants proof. It wants every outcome predicted before a single action is taken. But life does not work that way. No amount of thinking can make rejection impossible. No amount of planning can remove every risk. And this is where smart people get trapped in a way others do not. Because a smart mind can imagine more outcomes, more problems, more ways things could go wrong, more reasons to wait. The same intelligence that helps them solve problems becomes the architecture of the cage. Overthinking is not a thinking problem. It is a believing problem. And that one shift changes everything. The brain does not only think, the brain predicts. It scans the past for evidence, builds a story about the future, and sends that story directly into your body. That is why a thought can make your chest tight. That is why an imagined conversation can raise your heartbeat. That is why a rejection that has not even happened yet can feel completely real. Someone does not text back. The event is simple, no response, but the mind begins. They are ignoring me. I did something wrong. I always mess things up. Now the pain is no longer the silence. The pain is the story. And the story feels completely true because you feel it in your body. But here is the sentence that can change your life. Feeling something strongly does not make it true. This is the loop. Thought becomes feeling. Feeling becomes belief. Belief generates more thought. And suddenly, you are not responding to life. You are responding to a storm inside your own head. There is a book called Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Nguyen. Its core insight is deceptively simple. You are not suffering because of what happens. You are suffering because of the thoughts you attach to what happens. The event is what happened. The interpretation is what your mind says it means. A person criticizes you. That is the event. My life is over. That is interpretation. You make a mistake. That is the event. I am a failure. That is interpretation. The mind adds meaning so fast that most people never notice the gap between the two. And this is exactly where something like artificial intelligence becomes genuinely powerful, not as a tool, but as a mirror. Imagine being able to stop mid-spiral and ask, what actually happened here? What story am I adding to it? What would the facts look like without my interpretation? Because when you can finally see the difference between the event and the interpretation, you get your power back. The solution to overthinking is not more thinking. It is not winning an argument with your brain. It is awareness. A thought appears. Instead of saying this is true, you say this is a thought. A fear appears. Instead of saying this will happen, you say my brain is predicting danger. That small space between thought and belief, that is where freedom lives, because you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness noticing them. Thinking solves. Overthinking circles. Thinking creates clarity. Overthinking creates fog. Thinking leads to action. Overthinking delays it. An action, even one small imperfect action, breaks the spell. Send the message. Start the project. Make the decision. Not because you feel perfectly ready, but because waiting for mental certainty is not a strategy. It is a life sentence. The life you want is not on the other side of more thinking. It is on the other side of a thought you finally decided to stop obeying. Your mind will always produce thoughts, some useful, some fearful, some completely false. The goal is not to stop them from coming. The goal is to stop bowing to every thought like it is a king. Because sometimes the thought that feels most logical is just fear wearing a clean shirt, and the life you want is waiting on the other side of a thought you no longer obey. If this landed, if something in here felt uncomfortably familiar, do one thing right now: hit like. Not for the algorithm, because it tells me this kind of content is worth making more of. And if you are new here, this channel exists at the intersection of human wisdom and AI intelligence. Every video is built around one idea: that the most powerful things ever discovered about the human mind are still sitting in books, studies, and ancient texts that most people will never read. We read them for you, and we bring in what AI has confirmed about what they already knew. If that is the kind of content you want more of, subscribe. Turn on notifications, because the next video goes deeper. There is a reason certain people move through the world without hesitation, while equally smart people stay frozen. It is not talent, it is not luck. It is a specific pattern of thought that almost nobody teaches. That is what the next video is about. And comment below, what traps you most? Overthinking, fear, or believing every thought? 1, 2, or 3. Because the mind is powerful,